Hello everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and again I'm playing in one of Art by Marlene's little creative white journals. This is the 4-inch square. It has the same substrate in as the larger journal that I played in a previous video. Again, that kind of smooth cardstock. It's lovely. I haven't yet tried doing cutout pages in this journal, so that's something to try out later, but it's very nice, and I really like this little size as well. It's lovely to play in. So I'm starting off with a piece of collage paper that's Marlene's as well, her design, and then I'm sticking in some sticky glue. No, I'm not sticking in sticky glue. I'm sticking in using Marlene's sticky glue. Oh my days. Sticking in this piece of collage paper. So sometimes that's a great way to start a journal page. It gets rid of that blank page. It gives you a jumping off point. So then I'm going to take my inspiration from the colours on this page for the paints that I use. So I'm starting off with, this one is called Ballet. And then I think I use a sort of purpley colour, which looks like fuchsia and royal. So I'm still learning the names of all these colours. Lovely colours, some of my favourite colours to use. All I'd need on there would be a pop of turquoise, and then that's very, very Claire. So it was quite a warm day when I did this journal page, and I thought I'll just do a bit of reductive stenciling, but the paint had other ideas because it had dried and I wasn't able to lift it off the background. So that might have worked better if I'd gessoed my page first. So I was like, okay, gave up with that idea and thought, right, I'll just paint through the stencil. So painting through a stencil can give a very different look to using a sponge. You can control less how much paint bleeds under the stencil when you use a paintbrush, and so you get a very different look, and I just think sometimes it is really fun to play with just different ideas and see what it creates. And I think as long as you're not too precious about what happens, then you can have lots of fun along the way. And I think, you know, just sometimes thinking outside the box of using the supplies that you've got and thinking, what happens if I mix this and this, you can discover some really exciting things. So this little border mask came from one of Marlene's advent calendars a couple of years ago, I think, and I've kind of hung on to them. I really, really like them, and I just thought this was perfect to use up at the top of my page for a bit of a border. So I'm going to stencil over, and I'm using Police, that's the colour, just to add that pattern to the top of my page. And I'm using a sponge as well to pop the paint on. Then this, I think, has to be my all-time favourite stencil from the Advent Calendar stencil set that came out last year. I use this all the time. I don't know, what is it about circles? I just love using them on my journal pages. So any stencil with circles on is a winner in my book. This is another stencil from the Advent Calendar from last year. I do tend to keep them in that little tin that you can see there. I am so looking forward to having a play in December with the new advent calendar for this year. So I'm just building up my layers at this stage on my journal page, layers of collage paint, stenciling, just building up so that there's plenty going on my background. And then I decided I wanted to use these little dudes, all different sizes. I was going to have them at different heights. I think they're giraffes, aren't they? I wasn't sure at first, but I'm pretty sure they are. So when I put them on my page, I kind of thought, my page is quite busy. They disappear a little bit. So if you have that happen, there are things that you can do. So one of my favourite techniques to do is to just get a bit of white on my sponge or blending tool and just add a little, like a glow, a halo of white around where my image is going to go. And you'll see that helps it to pop out from the background. A little bit later in this video, I'll also share another technique that I sometimes use for helping images to pop out from the background as well, and that is just to add a little bit of a shadow using a Stabilo wall pencil down one side. You can also do the same with a colour. If you were to use like a Posca pen and draw down the outside of whatever your image is and then just smudge it with your finger, you'll also create like a little glow. So I'm using Marlene's sticky glue to stick these elements in. These are like the luxury paper animal elements. I absolutely love them. They're so quirky. They have so much character. And I think that's one of the joys with Marlene's range, is that a lot of the thinking is done for you. So you've got these elements that you can use and quotes that you can pop on, and you just, you know, you can just come to your journal, play without too much hassle. It's great. This is another stencil from the Advent calendar next year. I love a good cross, so this is a nice one to add on. I'm going in with Night, no, it's called Pitch, I beg your pardon, and just adding a few of these crosses onto my page, and I'm going to outline them using a Signo Uniball in white. Then it's time for a little bit of stamping. So I've just grabbed some stamps from this little set that you can see, just mark making stamps. I'm just adding a few of those onto my page as well. So here you can see I'm just adding that shadow using a Stabilo All pencil. So this is particularly good for this because you don't have to water activate it. You can smudge it with your finger if you want to, but you can create a really great soft shadow line using this pencil. So draw it first and go over with a wet paintbrush or a water brush, and it will just activate that and soften those lines for you. So I don't often use stencil paste on my journal pages, but Marlene sent me some to have a play with. So this is a gold one, and I just thought those little pops of gold would work quite nicely on this page, just a few little areas. It's lots of fun to add little elements to your page, and there are so many more things that you can do with it too. So yeah, this is a nice way just to get a little pop of extra warmth on my page. And I'm just going to pop it through the stencil using that palette knife. Don't forget to clean your stencil after you've used stencil paste on it though. And then I'm going to pop a quote on from the Golden Oldie quote book, and it is finished. So it's a lovely size little journal to work in, and it's getting quite a collection of funky pages in it. I am having so much fun using it. It'll be lovely to see how it works doing other sorts of things as well, so come back to find out. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.